Imagine being a battle-hardened soldier who has already lost everything that ever mattered. The wars are behind you, but the scars are not. Now picture waking up on a strange world that doesn't belong to your time, your people, or your reality. Nothing feels familiar, and survival becomes your only instinct. But the real horror isn't the crash or the isolation. It's the truth you slowly realize that you didn't arrive alone. Hidden in the shadows is something far worse than any enemy you've ever faced. Something you unknowingly brought with you. And that one mistake is about to change everything. Far out in the endless void of space, a massive spacecraft races through darkness at incredible speed. For a moment, everything seems under control until suddenly, something goes terribly wrong. The ship begins to lose stability as it enters a planet's atmosphere, shaking violently as flames consume its outer structure. Pieces start breaking off, falling like burning debris across the sky. Within seconds, the situation becomes uncontrollable. The ship crashes into a frozen lake with a deafening explosion, sending ice and water flying in every direction. Then, just like that, silence takes over as the wreck sinks beneath the surface. From the destruction, two survivors manage to escape, dragging themselves onto the cold shore. Their bodies are weak, their movements slow, but somehow they made it out alive. As night passes, one of them regains consciousness, only to be met with a horrifying sight. His companion lies lifeless beside him, a deep wound carved into his chest as if something tore straight through him. It's not an ordinary injury. It's something far more brutal, far more unnatural. The survivor quickly scans the area using advanced technology, searching for any signs of life or rescue. But there's nothing. No signals. No movement. Just emptiness. Realizing he is completely alone, the survivor takes a desperate step. He activates a device and connects it directly to his body, allowing streams of information to flood his mind. The process is intense and painful as knowledge forces its way into his consciousness. Languages, history, geography, everything downloads at once. His body struggles to handle it, but when it's finally over, clarity replaces confusion. He now understands where he is. This is Earth, but not the Earth he knows. The year is 709 AD, a completely different time. And the man standing here is named Kynan. After burying his fallen companion, Kynan arms himself with his advanced weapon and steps into the unknown. The forest ahead is quiet, almost too quiet, as if something is watching. It doesn't take long before he finds signs of destruction. A village lies ahead, but it is no longer alive. Buildings are shattered, everything burned or broken, and the ground is marked with chaos. Bodies are scattered, and nearby lies a massive animal, ripped apart in a way that no human could have done. Kynan immediately understands what caused this. But before he can react, he is suddenly struck from behind, and everything goes black. When Kynan wakes up, he finds himself tied up inside a Viking settlement, surrounded by people who clearly don't trust him. His weapon is gone, and every face around him carries suspicion. To them, he is an outsider, someone who doesn't belong. Their leader, King Hrothgar, stands as a strong and respected figure, while his daughter Freya shows equal strength with a fearless and independent spirit. It becomes clear very quickly that this is not a place where strangers are welcomed easily. And Kynan, with his strange appearance and unknown origins, raises more questions than answers. As Kynan is questioned, he tries to hide the truth, claiming he comes from a distant land and is hunting a mythical creature. But his story sounds unbelievable, and no one is convinced. Instead, they begin to suspect something much worse, that he is responsible for the destruction they've seen. His attempts to escape only make things worse, reinforcing their doubts. No matter how hard he tries, he cannot convince them. To these people, he is not a survivor, he is a threat. And unless something changes, his fate is already decided. Before any judgment can be carried out, chaos suddenly erupts across the village. Horns echo in the distance, and warriors rush to defend their home, expecting an enemy attack. But when they step outside, there is no army waiting for them. Instead, something far more terrifying is already inside. A shadow moves quickly through the darkness, striking without warning. It tears through animals, destroys structures, and disappears before anyone can fully see it. Panic spreads as no one understands what they are dealing with. No one except Kynan. Kynan recognizes the creature instantly. He knows its movements, its speed, and its brutality. He calls it a Morwen, a deadly being from another world. The same creature that destroyed his home is now here, hunting again. But instead of being believed, Kynan is blamed. The villagers see him as the cause of this horror, and he is punished for it. Bound and left outside, he is forced to face the consequences of something he didn't mean to bring. Alone in the cold, he begins to relive the past he tried to escape. Through his memories, we see the truth of his world. A once beautiful planet reduced to ruin by the very creature now hunting this land. Entire civilizations wiped out, with no mercy and no survivors. And within those memories lies guilt. Not just for what happened, but for his role in it. Because this wasn't just an accident. There is a deeper connection between Kynan and the destruction that followed him here. A truth he can no longer hide. The next day, Kynan is brought before King Hrothgar once again. But this time, he chooses honesty. He reveals everything, the creature, its nature, and how it hunts. He admits that it followed him here, hidden within his ship, and now it is free. The room falls silent as the weight of his words sinks in. Some demand his immediate execution, believing he deserves to die for bringing such danger. But Hrothgar sees something different. He sees knowledge. And in a situation like this, knowledge is power. Instead of killing him, Hrothgar decides to use him. If this creature is as dangerous as Kynan claims, then they need someone who understands it. An uneasy alliance is formed, built not on trust, but on necessity. Kynan agrees to help hunt the Morwen, knowing that without him, they have no chance of survival. It's no longer about proving himself. It's about stopping something that cannot be allowed to continue. As the hunting party moves into the forest, tension remains high. Strategies are debated, and opinions clash, but it quickly becomes clear that this enemy cannot be fought like a normal beast. Every mistake costs lives, and every wrong assumption leads them further from the truth. They encounter destruction at every step, signs that the creature is always one move ahead. And slowly, fear begins to replace confidence among the warriors. At one point, they mistake a wild bear as the source of the attacks, leading to a brutal confrontation. The fight is intense, pushing everyone to their limits. In the end, Kynan manages to kill the beast, proving his strength and earning a level of respect from the group. But even in victory, he knows the truth. This was not the real enemy. The Morwen is still out there, and it's far more dangerous. That night, the village celebrates, believing they have faced the worst. For the first time, Kynan is welcomed among them, sharing food and laughter. It's a feeling he hasn't experienced in a long time, a sense of belonging. But deep down, he knows this peace is temporary. The real threat hasn't revealed its full power yet. And when it does, everything will change. Soon enough, conflict returns. A rival clan attacks, driven by old grudges and misunderstandings. Chaos spreads once again as battles break out, and alliances are tested. At the same time, the Morwen continues hunting, growing stronger with each kill. The truth becomes impossible to ignore. This is no ordinary fight. This is survival against something unstoppable. Realizing direct combat is useless, Kynan proposes a plan, a trap. It's risky, dangerous, and their only chance. Though many doubt him, they have no better option. Working together, they build a massive pit designed to lure the creature in and destroy it with fire. Every step of the plan must be perfect, because if it fails, there will be no second chance. Before the final battle, Kynan reveals his past. His people were conquerors, destroying worlds in search of power. The Morwen's home was one of those worlds. What happened to his planet was not random. It was revenge, a cycle of destruction that came back to him. Freya listens without judgment, reminding him that while he cannot change the past, he can still choose what he becomes. When night falls, The trap is set, and the warriors prepare for what could be their final fight. The forest stands silent as the creature approaches. In a flash of light, it appears massive, terrifying, and unstoppable. The plan begins, but things quickly spiral out of control. A second creature emerges, turning the battle into complete chaos. The fight becomes desperate. Lives are lost, and even the strongest warriors fall. The trap partially works, but not enough to end it. The creatures fight back with overwhelming force, pushing everyone to their limits. In the chaos, leaders fall, and hope begins to fade. But the battle is not over yet. With everything at stake, the remaining warriors make one final push. Armed with a newly forged weapon, they track the creatures to their lair. Deep underground, surrounded by darkness and death, the final confrontation begins. Every move matters now. Every second counts. In the end, after a brutal and exhausting battle, the creatures are finally defeated. But victory comes at a heavy cost. Many lives have been lost, and nothing will ever be the same again. The silence that follows is not peace, it's the aftermath of survival. Kynan is given a chance to leave when a passing ship responds to his signal. For a moment, he considers returning to the life he once knew. But then he looks at what he has found here, a place where he belongs. A place that gave him a second chance. And so, he makes his decision. He stays. Not as a stranger, but as someone who has found purpose again. A man who once carried only guilt now carries responsibility. And in doing so, he finally finds something he thought he had lost forever, a new beginning.